to my channel. My name is Mary and I am a graphic designer and illustrator from Canada. Today I'm at the overlook point of Horse Thief Canyon, which is one of many canyons around Drumheller, Alberta. We call this the Badlands because a lot of it is very dry, very deserty. Technically it's classified as a semi-arid grassland, so not a full desert, but sure feels like the desert, especially when it's hot. Today it's actually only about 7 degrees Celsius and climbing a little bit, but that's really cool. It's been like 30 or 40 most of last week, but then we have this smoke. You can see all this haze that's rolled in from BC from the forest fires there, and that's actually keeping it fairly cool, which is nice. It's kind of eerie and otherworldly, the sort of light you get from the smoke. But yeah, today I want to do some really loose paintings, probably about 3, maybe only like 10 or 20 minutes each. That's my plan anyway. I'm gonna inevitably spend more time on them. But yeah, I just want to try to get the essence of the landscape rather than trying really hard to get that atmospheric perspective exactly right. That's difficult, it takes a lot of practice. So today is basically just going to be studies. One other thing I wanted to mention is that there's going to be a sale in my Etsy store on pins and on original art and on prints. So a sale on everything for the next month. I'll include a link in the description box below. Please consider purchasing something from my shop. I'm trying to move some stock and make some extra cash. I really want to buy a new tripod. The tripod I'm using with my camera right here has a broken toggle and it's full of dirt also, just from like living in the desert. So help me out, check out my Etsy if there's anything you want to buy. That would be awesome. Let's get painting. That's probably what you're here for, huh? Well, another nice thing about today is that the light, because of the smoke, is very diffused and it's coming from sort of that direction. So I can actually put my camera in a different place than I normally put it. So right now it's in front of me, in front of my pochade, and you can actually see my whole palette. So maybe this will be interesting. Maybe we'll get too much of the shadow on there later. But let me know if you like this view. I can make an effort to try to film from this direction more often. Alright, so we'll just get some gear out here. A little bit about my setup. I've got just a really regular cheap plastic palette that I keep my gouache on. This is Winsor & Newton paper that I'm going to be using. Is that right way up or wrong way up? There. Winsor & Newton watercolor paper. I've sort of cannibalized it for the cardboard a while ago, so it's a little worse for wear, but it's really nice paper, 100% cotton. Flip that over there. And then the pochade I've got here is from Sienna Plein Air, and it's pretty nice. It also opens up so I can paint vertically if I want to, but I often like to paint horizontally, just flat on a table, because I use water media, and I don't like sort of the dribbly gravity effects so much. Not when I'm painting. I prefer that they dry flat on the page so I don't tilt it too much. There's my brushes with a Department of Art patch from James Gurney, one of my prized possessions. Gouache. Got my pencils. These are mostly coal erase pencils. A little bit of painter's tape. A little container full of water. I like this one because it's a squirt bottle. It's very handy for being on the go. And some paper towels. So, oh, and a sharpener. So that's what I use usually. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. There's a lot of crickets and grasshoppers around, and some screaming chipmunks and screaming ground squirrels. Lots of wildlife around here. Probably some coyotes somewhere, but they probably aren't gonna come out and eat me. Yeah, and I think the wind is pretty mild, so you shouldn't get too much like wind fuzz on the camera. Eventually it would be really nice to get like a better video camera. What I'm using is actually like a digital still photography camera. But I just don't know what kind I want, so I haven't got one yet. But once I get another one, that'll be cool. I'll be able to do like double footage, like film my palette and my paper at the same time, and then like split screen them, or like film what I'm painting and then film the painting, if that makes sense. Yeah, just things to look forward to, I guess. Alright, well, I've taped my page on 3 sides here. There's a hill that kind of comes down like this and sort of fades off into the distance a little bit, so I'm gonna try to fade off the painting, if that makes sense, rather than have a harsh edge on 4 sides. I'm just gonna have it on 3, because why not? I'm just playing around today. I'm gonna do a really loose sketch and then just like slime it with paint. Yeah, I'm using a color ice pencil. I really like these. If you've watched my videos, you'll probably know that I use them all the time. They are a little bit waxy, so if you use too much it will resist a tiny bit, but it's not that bad. Mostly I like it because it doesn't smudge. That's the main point. It doesn't smudge, it is erasable, and it comes in different colors. So overall, very handy, very nice. But yeah, I'm so lazy today. Like, I got up and I had breakfast and stuff, but now now I just want to lay down again. But I'm out here painting. I'm still gonna paint. It's sort of a weekend ritual for Finn and I to go painting. Finn is over on the other side of the canyon right now. I'll meet back up with him later. Yeah, I hope you guys like this bonus video. Usually I only upload 1 a week, but I decided I'm out here painting. I might as well just upload another, right? And then you guys will get slightly more put together painting on the weekend. Well, maybe not a painting, maybe just like a sketchbook video. Yeah, that'll do. That's about all I need for my sketch. Let's see. I'm gonna prop it up a little bit on the edge of the pochade here. Put my paper towel there and grab a big juicy brush, I think. This is a Richardson 8000 series number 12, big juicy brush. Probably that's all I'll use today. And I think to start, I'm just gonna use my paint from the dry state. Yeah, I don't really need to squeeze fresh paint. I've got pretty much every color on my palette right now. And I'm just gonna go for it. Oh, getting a weird shadow there. I don't know, like, I'm not gonna be very, very precise with this. You can be, you can approach your plein air paintings in a different way, but I don't know. Not every day you have the same level of motivation, and not every day you want to focus on the same artistic problems, you know? Like, essentially what you want to learn is light when you're painting. But it's okay to know that that takes a long time, if that makes sense. Like, I'm only 23, and to get good at painting, I don't know, it takes your whole life. So sometimes I just do kind of like a really lazy painting, but that helps if you're thinking about it, and if you're doing the right things, and you kind of have an idea what you're trying to learn on that day, then you'll still learn something even if the painting doesn't turn out. Does that make sense? Even if it's not something you want to like put on your portfolio website, maybe it's good enough to put on Instagram or whatever. I've been really bad at Instagram lately, actually. I haven't been uploading as much work as I actually do. Part of the reason is because I can't share anything from work. I can't share anything that I do at the museum on social media until it's like in the gallery and shared on the museum's social media first, if that makes sense. So it's like it's an NDA. It is, but it isn't like called an NDA. Anyway, so I do all this stuff at work and then I can't share it, and then I come home and I'm lazy. Which is fine. But yeah, if by all means follow me on Instagram. I still do post like a few times a week for sure. But I should maybe just post more like throwback stuff, like here's something I did in art school or whatever. Anyway, I'm sort of just right now blocking in like the local color. There's a focal point of the value pattern that I want to get eventually, which is that these little hills in the center are lighter than everything else. So I'll work up to that, but I'm not going to touch them right now. I think I might squeeze out a bit of opaque fresh gouache later to help establish that. But yeah, right now just focusing on the local color, and then I'll go in and do the darks, and then I'll go in and do the highlights, and then that'll probably be it. I might switch to a flat brush later too. I'm feeling like that might be the way to do all these opaques and stuff. But as I'm just working really loose and pale right now, a big juicy brush is what you need. as you can see, this paper is like, it has a really good flow to it, and it stays wet for a long time. Also, because it's not as sunny as it usually is in this part of the world, it's taking a longer time to dry because of that too. So it's really fun actually to just paint wet on wet for all this thing. I love the way that gouache flows wet in wet. It's less of a bloom like watercolor is, and more like a creamy, sploogey movement. I don't know, that's how I describe it. It's more of a creamy flow. So yeah, I hope the camera picked that up. That was quite nice. I'm gonna let this dry now because I want to work opaquely over it, and I don't want it to pick up too much. So yeah, I'll let this dry. I'll wander around and see what sort of neat rocks I can find while I'm waiting. But yeah, then I just want to block in basically this center area. I don't really want to mess with too much else. I'll define the light side and the dark side of these hills, and then probably carve them out from the background with a bit of like a dusty blue. And then I'll probably leave it at that. Like I said, I don't want to spend a long time on these, so I'll do this one real fast and then move on to something else. There's some trees that are turning yellow on the other side of this little coulee here, and I want to paint those next. Gee, fall is coming. Did you know in Canada, sometimes we don't even get fall, it goes straight from summer to winter. But I'm hoping this year we get at least like 2 weeks of cooler temperatures before the snow hits. That would be nice. One time it snowed in September, so we'll see. Alright, so it's about dry now, and I have cleaned off a bit of my palette here so that I can keep my whites somewhat clean. I've also mopped up my dirty water from the section of the palette here, so it's not like sterile clean. But it's gonna help keep my brights nice and bright, basically. So I'm going to be using this angle brush. I like angle brush because you get a little bit more variation in your strokes than you would with just a flat brush. See, so it sort of turns into like a small flat brush at the tip. Let's see. I need a little more paint there, geez. But yeah, I'm just trying to make a warm white. Alright, that's about all I need for now. Make a darker color for the side of those little hills. I think that'll do. Just like glop it in there. And because both sides are wet, it's going to make a diffused line along the edge, which is cool. It's not precisely what I wanted, to be honest, but it's a cool effect and I'm just gonna leave it. Down there, and then on the light side of the darker band of the hills. Go right down there. And then mix an even darker color for the dark side of the dark band. See, just like that. I might darken the, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, that's pretty neat looking. Get a little bit more of a light color to do the dirt around the base of the mountains. Oh, not mountains. They're just little like hills, very small hills. If I had to guess, I'd say they're only about like 10 feet tall. This one here. That's my guess anyway. There's like a little bird that keeps running up the side of this one. It's pretty cute. Can't tell what bird it is from out here. But we do get like rock wrens and various types of sparrows. Alright, now while that's drying, I'm going to work on the foreground a bit more with some opaques. I don't want to outline the top of the hills until they're completely dry, because I want the line between the hills and the background to be really, really sharp, like as sharp as possible. So that means you gotta let it dry and you gotta work fast once you're ready to go there. But the foreground can sort of blend into one another, that's fine, so I'm gonna work on that for a bit. I'm actually going to go in here right now and see this bit of white that's left. I don't like that. So I'm just going to take a damp brush and scrub at it. That'll help blend the edges of the colors that are already there and get rid of a bit of that white that I didn't really like very much. I think one other thing I'm going to try to do is imply a bit of a core shadow on these and hope that it works. So just kind of go down the edge. Yeah, I'm not sure if that did much. Haha. Oh well. Good thing with gouache is you can kind of mess with it for quite a while. You know, lift it and push it around and reactivate it and cover it up. Okay, so I've mixed sort of a neutral bluish tone here that I'm going to pop behind the painting, or well, behind the foreground. Actually, I could use a little more blue. More blue, more blue. Sweet, that worked out pretty well. I think the last thing I need to do is just try to imply that this is hills and not the sky. I'm gonna go along the sky with a bit more gray there. And mix a slightly darker shade for the side of the hills here. And then maybe just a little touch of a dark color to be the trees and hills on the top there. Okay, that's about done. I think I just want a little bit more of a dark tone in the foreground just to make it really clear that this is sort of the closest point with the least atmospheric perspective. Anyway, there we go. Is it perfect? No. But I did it pretty quick, and it looks pretty alright. So now I'm gonna reset my palette and everything and paint some of these yellowy trees.